Welcome to Winning the Game of Life. Known as Jungleman at the poker table, Dan Cates has gone from being the bag boy at McDonald's with no friends and a dead-end future to winning over $11 million in online poker, over $7 million in live tournaments, and is a World Series of Poker champion. He has found fame, fortune, been to incredible places all over the globe, and connected with some amazing people. It looks like Dan has won the game of life, but that is not the way he sees it. Dan sees winning as doing his part to help everyone in the world win. He knows he can't do it alone, though. He knows it's going to take a collective effort with anyone that wants to see the same thing. Join us each week as Dan starts the conversation to do just that. On the show, Dan will interview incredible individuals that have made the impossible possible. Those that have won the game of life, and those that want to help others win as well. Hit subscribe and follow Dan's journey on Instagram at @TheDanCates. Let's explore anyone and anything that can help make this world a better place, increasing the odds of us all winning the game of life. And now, here's your host, Dan Cates.
What's up, guys? It's Dan Cates, and I've got a very special guest with me today. I've got a social media star, a streaming star, one of the biggest streaming star in the world, the first ever one to be featured in an ESPN Sports Magazine with 24 million followers on YouTube, 17 million followers on Twitch, millions of followers everywhere else. And now kind of a poker star too. Tyler, what's up? Otherwise known as Ninja.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. It's an honor to have you on the show.
Thank you, man. Honor to be here, dude. Excited for this next hour.
Me too. So tell us a bit about yourself, Tyler. Where did it all begin? Where did the legend of Ninja start?
So the name Ninja that I chose as my gamer tag was something. It was like a move in Halo back in the day where and it wasn't named after me, by the way. This is just what people would call it when it happened. You were playing Halo 2 or Halo 1, Halo 3, and it was a first person shooter, so it's easy to lose people, when you're going around corners. So you would take like a tight corner, right? When someone's chasing you, you're one shot, you would like jump up as they lose vision of you and then get behind them when they turn the corner, and then you would back smack them, and you would call it. You would just be like, "Get ninja'd," right? Or you just ninja'd that person. And I was like, "Dude, I love this name." And I did it to somebody when I was super young, 14, 15. I was like, "Get fucking ninja'd," and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta have that as my gamer tag." I'm like, "How do I get the F word as my gamer tag on Xbox Live?" And that took some theory crafting, but eventually I made it like EFFINN space ninja. And that was where I started my professional Halo career, was as FN Ninja. It was pretty funny. Fast forward another 6-7 years, I'm still competing. And then streaming becomes a thing on Justin TV. Started streaming there. Fast forward, Justin TV becomes Twitch. I start streaming battle royales that come out. This is 10-year span, right? H1Z1 comes out, PUBG comes out. I'm competing, I'm winning tournaments. Battle royales are blowing up. Then Fortnite comes out. And then the rest is history.
Big fan of the blue hair. Thank you, man. I dyed my hair blue before I knew your hair was blue, but it's more popular than I thought. It feels like it might even, I don't know. It feels like I feel like I've seen a few stars have it as well.
Yeah, there. I think the only one that like I can 100% take credit for was the half blue, half red. Okay. I did it straight down the middle, half blue, half red. And it looked so clean. It was freaking gorgeous. I loved it. And when I washed it throughout months, it faded into an even cooler looking color. And there were at least two other celebrities that did that after. One of them was Chris Brown, and it was the exact same color, straight down the middle.
Oh, really?
Colorway.
Chris Brown dyed the color of it.
There's no proof that, because obviously it was never like an interview or anything, or I don't think he's ever been asked, but it was definitely after. It was after, and yeah, man, that was probably my favorite hair colors to date.
All right. The red and blue.
Yeah.
Why the red and blue? Out of curiosity.
I just obviously it had to be blue, and at this point we were doing so many colors, and we just wanted to mix something up, right? We wanted to like set the kind of raise the bar and just do something different. And I had a wonderful conversation with my stylist, and they were like, "Let's do like 2 colors." And I was like,
all right, sweet, awesome. Yeah, I'm a big fan of raising the bar and being outside of the box.
Absolutely, man.
And by the way, my name also happened to be given to me. My nickname Jungleman happened to be given to me. People just started calling me that, and that's where the online nickname came from.
Jungleman.
Yeah. Funny when it's like fate that chooses it or random people.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the same thing with Ninja. It was like a thing that everyone talked about. It wasn't mine. I was like, dude, I'm just gonna kind of take this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and I know that Halo 3 is the first game you played, right?
Competitively, yes, I did play Halo 2. In the basement with the brothers, and the whole neighborhood, right? We're playing and gaming and landing and competing and stuff like that. Okay. So, but I mean, I actually goes all the way back to Halo 1, really.
I happen to know quite a bit about that. I never played professionally. I thought I was pretty good. I could beat my friends and all that, but I got my ass handed to me online.
Yeah.
I'm curious how you turned this into something that was a professional thing. This seems like incredibly tough, and I don't know what kind of percentile in the world you need to be to do this, but it must be over 99.9th percentile, I'd assume.
Yeah. I mean, if you're making money, like if you're competing and making money, absolutely, it's top 1%, and that's pretty much it. But everyone starts out literally just like, I mean, just kind of like you experienced it, where you're beating everybody locally, right? But you're struggling maybe online, or you're struggling when you go to actual tournaments, when you start bringing in other people outside of your city, and that's pretty much how it is in Halo and in any game, right? You're landing with your buddies, you're playing with all your friends. Oh, you're the best in your high school. It's like, all right, great, that's cool. But now, like, if you're actually trying to win big money and you're trying to make it, like, now you're gonna have to start playing against everyone else who's the best in their state or in their high school, and it blows up from there.
Yeah. So did you struggle? Was there a period where you're like, where you're frustrated and working hard, and then or was it just always natural? Was it just always pure ascension?
Yeah, it was definitely pure ascension, I would say. Started dominating my neighbors, my brothers, everyone in the local area. And then online comes out, Xbox Live comes out in Halo 2, started dominating there. Was just really good. Then Halo 3 comes out. I'm dominating even more there online. I'm like, all right, let's start going to tournaments, started winning money there. And then, made it to the pro level and at the end of Halo 3, beginning of Halo Reach. And then that was when I started my streaming career.
Okay. Were you already making like good money from that, or
no one was making good money, because unless you were literally winning first place at every tournament all the way until the finals, like the grand finals, so MLG had a circuit where, first place 20,000, first place 20,000, first place 20,000, fourth tournament, first place 20,000, and then there's like the grand finale. I forgot what it was called, nationals, right? Okay. And first place 250,000 or like $1 million, and then you would split it. It might have been 250. I think it was 250,000 for first place, and then you had 4 players on the team. You're splitting 50K, 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 and like, right. and again, first place, like, and then that's not counting travel expenses to get there, because this was before organizations were a thing, and really you weren't being paid, by anyone really to do what you're doing. You weren't being paid at all. You weren't salaried. It was like it was purely profit off of maybe sponsors that you were getting somehow, or tournament winnings.
Okay. So you had to be like legit, like the actual best in the world at Halo out of whatever millions of people to make like any kind of good money. Yep.
And I was like, and again, I wasn't making good money, man. I was winning, like, I was getting like sixth place, like toward like the middle of my Halo career. I was getting like top 8, top 6, which was like $5,000, $10,000, something like that.
Okay. All right. And what traits would you say contributed to being like incredibly good, you still must have been, I mean, over 99.99th percentile in Halo. I presume something like that, something really outrageous. I mean, I would have guessed that you must be playing like really a lot, because that's how I got good at games. That's how I got good in poker, and that sort of thing. But maybe, I don't know. It sounded like you just like kept crushing.
Yeah, I mean, I was just play all day, man. I mean, gaming was my life, and streaming, really. They were both pretty much went hand in hand my entire life. If I wasn't, playing soccer in high school, or, being in school, because I had to be, I was playing video games, practicing, and just, getting really, 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 really good. And then when I stopped competing, and basically just kind of went streaming full time. Sorry, my dogs are making an appearance in the podcast. I don't know if you can hear them. I don't know how you can't, because that's our little Cheweagle, and he is just crazy. And yeah, I would just basically try to go full-time streaming, and then end up just getting sucked back into my competitive nature, and start like trying to play in tournaments of the game that I was streaming. Like that was like H1Z1. H1Z1, it's this battle royale game, last man standing wins. And then eventually a pro scene started to develop, and I'm just like, all right, like I won't just like kind of pub around anymore. And, I guess in poker terms, I'm going to stop playing like cash games online and, win some money there. I'm actually going to start going to like real tournaments. I'm going to start kind of, go and compete and play with some of the real pros, instead of just kind of picking off noobs. And that's how it's been my entire life, man. I mean, even like a year ago, I was competing in Valorant, a game that came out, and I was I retired, right? No more competing. And then I was like, it was COVID was going on. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll make a team. Made a team. We started playing against some pros and beating some pro teams. And it's like, oh man. But then again, reality kind of set back in, and I was spending way too much time on the game, and away from, the wife and my family. And I had to, I am able now to see that without someone like having to, snap me out of it and be like, do you know what you're doing? I'm like, I know what I'm doing. I'll stop. I need to take a step back, and, I have different priorities now.
Yeah, I should ask about that myself, because I've struggled with that myself, especially in my 20s, where I just be like full into poker and didn't realize the importance of giving people like the proper attention that means something to you.
Right.
What kind of age did you start to shift your priorities a little bit, and what kind of hours were we talking about with playing games? Were you just playing like all day, every day? Like, was it like literally 16 hours a day? Or, I mean,
yeah, you nailed it. That's
really
pretty much it, man. 16 hours a day, every day for like 10 years, man. I mean, honestly, pretty much my entire life, man. Like after high school, if I wasn't sleeping, eating, or like, like I was playing video games or streaming. And I'm 30 years old now. I would say probably like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, is when I like came to this, magical understanding that like I can take a day off, or even end my stream early and only stream 4 hours or 6 hours, be live at 8 a.m. I can be live at 8 a.m. and I can get off at noon or 2 and have the entire day and an entire night to hang out with family and friends. And that's more than okay. That's not going to hurt my brand. It's not going to hurt me. Yeah, it's an understanding. It's something that I really, really wish I came to a long time ago. And I've been talking to a lot of younger streamers and people who are coming up and things like that, and trying to, teach them what I wish I knew back in the day, which was one day off isn't going to kill you, man. Even ending your stream a little bit early, it's not going to kill you. And there are nights that I wish I had back, and things that I wish I didn't miss. With nights with my family when they had friends over, and I would just be in the basement playing video games instead of, just coming up and hanging out and having dinner. And, but hey, I can't complain, because here I am. I have the life that I have right now. I'm super blessed. And who knows, maybe I wouldn't have gotten here if I didn't do that every night. But I do like to think, again, one or two nights a week, or even one night a week, it's just like take a day off or take a night off.
Sure. Yeah. Imagine it'd be tough for like, you're married. Are you married or with Oh, okay.
Married. Yep. No kids. 3 dogs. So kind of like a kid, man. I mean, truly.
Same thing. I was thinking like dogs are like little kids, sort of like.
They are, man. We can't leave them for too long, right? Like they're not like a cat. We can't like go on a vacation and have them shit in a litter box for a week and have food that just auto dispenses, right? But it's responsibility. We got that.
All right. Yeah, I was thinking like I had a girlfriend for 7 years, and like one thing that I regret a bit, I should have done the day off thing. Especially when I was like grinding full-time poker, 16-hour. It was basically 16 hours a day too. I'd like squeeze in the gym, and otherwise I would just wake up, walk over to the poker room and play at least points in time, and then she'd be there. Then, but it eventually affected the relationship, and it's one
of course. Yeah, man, that's what happened with Jess. That's what happened with Jess. I mean, we got to like I learned balancing not the way I know it now, but I definitely learned it back then with her. When we were, first couple of years of our relationship, she would come over, hang out for the weekend, and like I would stream until like 10 o'clock at night, and she would be there the whole time. And she'd be like on her laptop, and then she'd go work out, and she'd come back, and it's like, are we gonna do anything? And I'm just like, I mean, we could go to dinner maybe, and then I'd like get right back on or some shit, dude. Looking back now, it's like I was delusional, man.
So what happened that changed that? What was the magic moment? Was it just you woke up one day and you're like, you know what, maybe I should be a little bit show a little
love, a little fucking effort. Yeah, I think she just was like, she just like talked to me and was like, Tyler, do you know that when I come visit? So when I would visit her, I wouldn't bring my setup, and because she was in college and we would take turns visiting each other every week. It's like an hour drive. It was nothing crazy, and I would not bring my stuff. So like I was already kind of like getting to that moment where I wasn't gaming when we were hanging out, but when she would come over to visit me, I would still stream. And then eventually she was just like, Ty, when I come visit you, I would like if you, if we actually did stuff. It's like, okay. I mean, it was understandable, but then I was also like, I told her like tournaments are always going to take precedent. Because obviously like I was still a professional gamer at the time when we started dating. So I had an obligation to get on with my teammates, every night, every other night in practice. Right. That was something that I was going to prioritize, and I did prioritize for a long time.
Okay. Well, it sounded like sort of a smooth transition. Like it
wasn't I'm leaving. It was like
this is a real problem. We need to fix this. Like it was more like, and then boom.
Yeah.
Cool. It's nice to learn things the nice way.
Yeah. 100%, man.
So, related to that, how did you, it sounded like you guys knew each other before you gained a massive following on social media. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah. We had a crush on each other when I had no social media presence. We just met at a tournament in Wisconsin, a local tournament. She was there with her ex-boyfriend. I went there with my friend who dragged me there because I was the best player in the area and he wanted to win. And we did win. We ended up winning first place in the team tournament. And I was super attracted to her. I thought she was the prettiest. She was hands down the prettiest girl there. But she was dating someone, I wasn't. So we added each other on Facebook. And then fast forward like 4 years later, we were both single and we just made a date.
Awesome. It sounds like almost a Disney love story.
It really was. Maybe if we met in her hometown when I was visiting, like that would have been like the hallmark moment where I go and visit her in her small hometown of Wausau, Wisconsin. But yeah, it really was truly like we both got through these points of our life where, I had a relationship, on and off through those 3 years. I was not a good boyfriend, man. I was in my basement playing video games, streaming 18 hours a day, 16 hours a day. So it got to that point 4 years later where we are like both kind of starting to settle down a little bit and mature. It was really honestly the perfect time.
Okay.
For both of us. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you, man.
And it sounds like through even after becoming famous, nothing changed. Like that part I find to be kind of inspiring, because I feel like a lot of people would have trouble in their relationship as that went on. It seemed like I want to talk about that a little bit, because I want to talk about your rise to fame. What exactly happened? And it seemed like it must have been a hell of a boom to get to where you're at now.
Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it for so long, and I mean, all cockiness aside, I always felt like I was like, I had the talent, I had the humor, I had, everything that I needed, the tools, if you will, to really be one of the biggest streamers in the world. Mm-hmm. And I was doing it for so long, and I have a really good family, and brothers to, always keep me humble. Same with my mom and dad and Jess. So throughout that entire process, I mean, I never developed an ego. And really it was kind of one of those like finally moments, not like, I always knew this would happen. Like I deserve this. And then like, become this cocky little shit. So I think that if it happened to me when I was younger, God knows, I definitely wouldn't be sitting here today. I probably would have lost my mind, on social media and got this crazy God complex.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Yeah. A lot of people seem to lose their heads over ego. I mean,
the younger you are, man, the harder it is to stay level headed, man. I mean, you look at all the childhood stars, right? Who, the Hollywood stars who, I mean, dude, a lot of them just, I mean, they just crack out, right? And they just kind of fall off and not fall off like talent wise. They just kind of lose themselves. And rightfully so, with all the pressure and everything that comes with, being a childhood actor and things like that. But yeah, the younger you are, I think the more susceptible you are to bad friends and bad people who change the way you think. If you have I didn't have any yes men in my life when I was streaming and when I was like on the come up, which I think is a good thing. Yeah, if I had somebody telling me, you're totally in the right when I'm being a total asshole, that's just going to make me keep doing that,
Yeah. Well, I personally believe that, the closer you stay to the truth, the better it ends up in the long run. And to be humble is essentially as being as close to the truth as you can. And it's also remembering to treat people well and to not let it go to your head too much. And in poker, letting it get to your head happens. I've seen it a million times. It's the best way to lose money is to think you're God's gift. And
oh, dude, at the end of the day, man, like it's the flop's the flop, the turn's the turn, the river's the river. Like I don't care how good of a poker player you are, man. If you're not getting the deck, like people go cold all the time. Like you can be the best poker player in the world. Like if I flop the nuts, like I don't care who you are, right? And that's
pretty much.
So I think you have to stay humble in poker, man. Otherwise, I think that exactly just what you said. I mean, dude, if you think, oh man, I'm gonna hit this on the triple 3x 4x bet or something, and it's like you're screwed, man.
Yeah, it's I haven't seen any poker players that consistently hit 8%ers on the turn or 16%. It takes a while. So I got a question. There's a lot of people that want to be a social media star, or they want to be a star in some kind of way, or be really big at what they do. What advice would you give them? Do you have any?
I mean, the number one thing when it comes to streaming, I can speak about pretty much anything. I mean, if you have a talent at something and you are very, very good at something, it's just about getting it out there. And and nowadays, TikTok is going to be your number one way to grow on social media. I think Instagram Reels is actually fantastic too. Instagram Reels is, if you're uploading to TikTok, you should be uploading to Instagram Reels as well, and Snapchat, things like that. You just copy and paste the format and just upload it across all of your platforms. I would even say YouTube Shorts as well. I don't think you're going to see the same growth across everything, but there's no reason to only be in one area. Number one, because you could potentially grow in another. And just record the content and get it out there. If you're the best chef in the world, or I don't know, at vegan food or something like that, or you're really good at literally anything, right? When I'm saying literally anything, I mean if you are the best or an incredibly talented person at knitting, at juggling, at juggling a baseball with a golf club. I mean, you know what I mean? Like there's some people that just have these weird talents. Just showcase it, right? Upload it, and be consistent.
Okay. Well, do they like do you know anyone who's got like a weird talent that's uploaded tons of content and just made a lot of money, like juggling or or just something really esoteric?
I mean, I don't know about making a lot of money. Getting the following is the first thing, and then making money comes after. You can get brand deals and things like that, and do paid advertisements on your social posts, and that's how you can probably start. But dude, I mean, just go to TikTok, man. Scroll through TikTok for an hour. If you've never made an account, you'll have to get through all the thirst traps. There's going to be a lot of girls on your For You page, because for some reason that's what TikTok just forces right away. But if you swipe right away instantly, or you just hold it and click not interested, you'll start getting into, the algorithm will figure out what you like. And you just stumble upon the weirdest things, man. I mean, the amount of people and cooking, like people will just do like these like little montage edits of like cooking for a meal, start to finish. It'll be a minute-long video. And there are these two guys, they cook in the woods, and they only use like wooden bowls, and like they start the fire by themselves, like, and they cook with all these natural ingredients, and like they'll put the camera by the board, they'll like throw the onion up, catch the onion with this like super manly, crazily overly sized knife, dice it up real quick, boom, and like to the beat of kind of like what like.
Oh, really?
They like make like a little mini beat with it, and then like and then they'll show you the finished product, and they'll have millions of views because it's incredibly aesthetically pleasing to watch. And of course, people probably want to look at the recipe and try it themselves, and that's just cooking. Some people just want to, again, you juggle to a soccer ball to an incredibly viral song, and like that can go viral too, man. TikTok's it's a beautiful beast.
Huh. Okay. I guess they can get all the camping sponsorships or something.
Yeah, some natural stuff like tents. Seriously, like, yeah. I mean,
no one's really going after those, I guess. So.
Nope.
Okay. Who would have thought? Maybe I will check it out myself just to see what's going on in the TikTok world. I've heard it's the way to I've heard it's the way to become famous.
It's definitely the way to build a following. If like in today's day and age, I feel like a lot of other places, there's really not, there's almost no discoverability on Twitter. I mean, I don't think you're going to blow up on Twitter nowadays. Like you kind of just get a following and then tell them to follow you there, if that makes sense. And then you kind of,
sure.
Then you tweet your thoughts and shit like that. And then maybe you'll grow. I think that's one of the platforms where you need a following to gain a following, right? Like TikTok, you can just create really good content, and that'll hit the algorithm and it'll push your content. Whereas like Twitter doesn't like push tweets,
Okay. That makes sense. It's interesting. I always personally thought you had to, I guess you have to find a way to get out the talent anyway. You can't just like not going to spread itself really. It's
100%. And that's why YouTube and Twitter YouTube and TikTok and Instagram Reels. Like that's why there is an algorithm that exists where if there's a watch, like it will hit someone's recommended or For You page or their subscription feed or whatever on, whatever. And if someone watches it, it's like, oh my God, the first person we showed this to watched the entirety of it. Or the first person we showed this to watched it twice and shared it. And then, so now it pushes it to more pages. And then it's like, oh, that person watched it and shared it. That person watched it and shared it. That person watched it 3 times. Like, and then now all of a sudden, and then it just, dude, it's like a crazy web. It's awesome.
Okay. And those are the main ways you cultivate and grew your brand. What about like mainstream media? Like what about interviews and things like that? Or
that's more like traditional media, right? So
yeah,
super important. I think you're hitting different people in different ages, right? I think if you're, when I go on Jimmy Fallon, I'm not going on there for the kids. I go on there for, people my age who might be watching late night television, of course, and the adults, right? The like my parents and grandparents and things like that. They'll watch that and they can bond over that with their kids and their grandkids and things like that. For me, I just focus on hitting like everything. Do a couple of interviews online, post a couple of videos, do a couple live shows and podcasts and things like that.
Oh, okay. And was there like a big tipping point? Was it really gradual, or were there the points where it just boomed for no inexplicable reason? Maybe there was, or
So again, you usually have to. So, but this was like before TikTok, where I blew up before I even started uploading to TikTok. TikTok was something recent. So this is pre-TikTok. Everything I'm about to say. So I started building my following on Justin TV. Right, that's where I really gained my followers, and people started to know who I was. And I told them to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Right, and I just started uploading stuff there. I would basically use my entire audience that I had on Justin TV and Twitch, and I would tell them to go follow me on these places, and then. Of course, I'm meeting people playing Halo and professionally competing, and I'm meeting developers, and they're following. So the numbers always are constantly growing. And as I'm posting content, like it just goes, more and more viral and things like that. So when Fortnite started coming out, that was when I started uploading consistently to Instagram every single day. I would do like a clip of the day where I would hit something amazing on stream, post it on Instagram, post it on Twitter, post it on like a little YouTube short or whatever. And dude, yeah, I mean. As Fortnite blew up and as my stream blew up, it blew up on Instagram and YouTube and Twitter.
Okay. All right. I had a thought, but I totally forgot what it was. It'll come back. Really exciting to watch it grow. Like this was, I mean, I actually think it's one of the most exciting things to just grow in the first place than to actually, then even once you get there, it's kind of like you just stay there is what I would think. But it's going to a new, at least it's like getting to a new place in life. At least that's how I was when I was,
No, yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, I think that, luckily I had everyone in my circle tell me that like the numbers wouldn't stay. Like what's happening to you is what happens to someone, maybe like one person in a year. Like that's what a lot of my, friends and, people in the professional, end of the business, my managers and things like that, my agents, and they were like, and people, the YouTube employees, like I gained like 24 million subscribers in like a year and a half. That is unbelievably ridiculous. And everyone was like, this isn't like, these numbers will not last. So like prepare yourself for that. And then, and that's exactly what happened. I mean, dude, yeah, I was averaging like 3 to 4 or 5 million views every YouTube video. And it could be pretty much anything. On Instagram and Twitter, I was getting, millions of views on every clip. And obviously as the hype of Fortnite just slowed down and kind of leveled, hit that plateau and leveled. Now I'm starting to, be confident and more comfortable with like, I still hit like a couple million views sometimes on some clips on TikTok and Instagram Reels and things like that. And that feels great to know that I still have that pull. And my YouTube is starting to ramp back up again, coming up with more creative content and things like that. I mean, it's good. I'm like challenged again and driven to, get back to kind of an upward trend again,
Okay. I want to talk a bit about more about that in a moment. Is that it feels hard to get to that kind of parabolic state again. But I'm curious, did that have something to do with what made you decide to write books? What made you, because that seems like a very different sort of thing to do.
Yeah. I think that was just the whole getting into, Ninja's Get Guide to Gaming or whatever, Get Good Guide to Gaming. That was my agents. Like, they're like, hey, Tyler, we have a really great opportunity here. And I, at that point in my career as well, was really interested in just giving back to, as a streamer, I get asked the same question every single day. Like, how do I start streaming? How do I improve my aim? How do I, do this? What do I need to start streaming? It was the same reason I did a masterclass recently too, where like, I just want to help people out. I'm at the point of my career. I'm 30 years old. I don't plan on streaming for the next 15, 20 years of my life. Where there are a lot of, streaming really is beneficial in terms of how long you stream. It's beneficial for the younger generation, the younger audience. Because I don't like streaming 18 hours a day anymore. Right.
That's
so I'm kind of like passing the torch, that was like the book. That was the masterclass. Just kind of passing off the torch and just giving some of the advice back, have it all in a place. So I don't have to be live every day in order to give out the information.
So you can be more free to do other things perhaps as well.
Yep.
Okay. And what sort of advice would you be giving to your younger self? What's the sage wisdom that now that I
mean, in terms of streaming, right, my advice for streamers always is and always has been consistency is super key. But if you have to genuinely ask yourself, like, do you have a gift? Like, are you gifted? Because I don't know a lot of average people with average social skills that are really good streamers or big streamers for that matter. You have to have something to offer, right? At the end of the day, streaming is entertainment. It's the entertainment business, and you have to be entertaining. And my number one advice to people who are starting out, or if they're super young, well, what's really entertaining? Being really, really good at whatever you're streaming or whatever game you're playing. And I know it's very simple, but to compare it, like, look at the MLB, look at the NFL, take any professional level sport. And I'm going to compare it to a sport because this is very comparable in terms of viewing. Like, people watch others who are better, right? That's the reason people watch the NFL. Like, I am not able to, play against a 330 pound all muscle linebacker, like, or defensive lineman in football. Like, I can't do that. I love watching other people do it, right? I love watching people, catch one-handed 80-yard freaking, Hail Marys to win a game. I can't do that, but I love watching it. It's super entertaining to watch someone else do it. Same thing with streaming. Like, if somebody's better than you at a video game and you like that video game or you watch that video game, like, you're going to watch somebody who's just really fucking good, right? And you could be as dull as a rock. You can have no social skills, but if you are streaming your gameplay and you're the best fucking player in the world at whatever game is viral right now, dude, yeah, you're gonna blow up.
Yeah, I'm one thing I want to ask, but I don't want to go too deep into it. Is
sure.
Do you have any kind of what do you think about just like if someone just really wants very badly to succeed and just puts in a shitload of effort towards, you don't think there's any value to that if they have like some kind of talent, but it's not so clear how good they are, kind of thing, where it's not like, you're going up against the 300-pound linebacker kind of thing where you just
right.
Idea.
Yeah, I think that then that kind of like scales down then, right? I mean, there's like it's like the AFL or something like that, the NFL, like below the NFL or something. I mean, that's kind of like what you're hitting, right? You have to think of like if you're not as talented, right, you have to make up for it in something else.
Sure.
So, right. Okay. So you could be incredibly funny, right? Or you could be super tech savvy and have like one of the most like advanced technical streams where, there was this kid who went viral on TikTok because he killed someone playing Valorant and then literally pressed a button and a rave went off in his stream room. Literally there were flamethrowers going up and like the music was going and like, it looked like he was in a nightclub and like, and he went completely viral.
Okay.
And it's like, the guy got one kill, but he turned his entire stream room into a rave. Like when he got the kill, like shit like that. You know what I mean? Like be super creative on that, on the technical side. Or again, some people are really great at creating communities. So you can be like the chillest streamer, listen to the most amazing music, and you just have this great environment, and you just kind of build your community from there. Again, I think it's that way it takes longer. That's a long game. But yeah,
building community doesn't sound like an easy thing, but those seem like great examples for people that aren't savants or geniuses or whatever in some really obvious way, because that probably accounts for a lot of the population in some kind of way. It's just that they need to change their angle, just find some way to stand out that's not like dealing with the 300-pound quarterback or like trying to beat you at video games kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay. And what do you see the future of gaming and streaming? It sounds like you don't want to stream that much anymore. But I mean, it doesn't sound like you're going to quit video games anytime soon. And now you're interested in poker, it looks like.
Oh, absolutely.
I know you played a little bit in your when you were younger, not childhood. Yeah. It sounds like you have a bit of experience. So yeah, talk about the future. What do you think?
So yeah, I don't think I don't see a future soon where I completely quit streaming, of course. But yeah, I mean, definitely reeling back the hours where I don't plan on doing, massive amounts of days. And I think the future of streaming right now, it's kind of catering a little bit toward reaction streamers, where a lot of people are just literally watching TV shows and reacting to drama and news. It's not my forte. I don't really like that. Again, I've always been a gamer. I love gaming. I start my stream and I'm literally in a game of Fortnite or whatever I'm playing within 5 minutes. I don't welcome the chat. I don't sit there and welcome the chat and talk and discuss topics and politics and things like that. I immediately want to get into the game and I want to, you know, have fun and perform and entertain the way that I know how. So, I mean, I don't know what the future of gaming holds, but for me personally, yeah, dude, after that tournament, man, I have been obsessed with poker. I had so much fun. Just straight addicted almost immediately. I mean, I've been watching it on YouTube every day, 1v1s. I'm watching Heads Up, a lot of the high stakes poker games. I'm watching a lot of the World Series poker final tournaments or final tables. My brother-in-law came and visited. We went to a poker room that's like 30, 45 minutes away. Local poker room is a $220 buy-in. Obviously, like, you know, chump change, but I didn't care because I'm trying to learn how to play the game, right? I want more experience than just like playing online right now. And there were like 80 people, 80 buy-ins, super chill. I got 5th place.
Oh, not bad. Yeah,
dude, not bad. 5th place, man. My first ever my first ever tournament style poker tournament where it wasn't like, you know, it wasn't a cash game. And that was, dude, it was, oh man, it was invigorating. I loved it, man. I played fucking phenomenal. I didn't have a single bad beat. That's how I know I'm having a great day, or I'm just playing really good poker. Is like, I don't have any bad beats. I'm not calling something on the turn of the river. I'm not where I'm just literally.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is true. The less bad beats you're giving out, the better the general sign is. Right. I think someone told me that when I was just starting out and trying to figure. When I was back in my early days, but it makes sense, right? Because the more you're sucking out, it's like the more you have to get lucky.
Exactly.
I remember I did actually watch the stream a bit myself. And my impression was, I got the impression that you were playing better than the other guys on the whole on the table. I'd have to. I didn't watch the full stream, so I don't know. But it seemed like with a background in gaming and with a bit of an obsessive personality, I'm sure you'll be able to figure out if you put in quite some effort. It's quite a bit different from other games in certain ways because you have to look at things very differently. It's if that makes some kind of sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. My brother-in-law is he dealt poker for like 5 years. He absolutely loves poker. Like he's obsessed with it. More than me, right? He's been doing the amount of hours he has into it is probably like, 1,000 times more what I have, in terms of experience. And he was here for a week and I was just playing online next to him for like sometimes like 4 or 5 hours in a row. And he was teaching me all these terms and things like that, because what I'm lacking right now are the technicalities, and the terms. He's talking about range. He's like, and things like that. And I'm like, and dude, for the first like 2-3 days, I'm like, what the fuck does range mean? Like, stop. Like, I don't like, what do you mean he could have 7-8 because he's on big blind and that's what he's calling? Like, instead of like, how do you know he doesn't have aces or ace jack? And he's like, you look at how they're betting. Are they 3xing? Are they 5xing? Are they re-raising? Like, I'm starting to like accumulate the minimal knowledge to be able to now use, my gaming talents and actually be able to perform really well. And what I mean by that is like, when I was sat down at that table, I was immediately looking for tells on people. And I feel like I almost had pretty much everyone down instantly. Again, like I don't, that night, my only bad beat that I remember that was just horrible was to fucking Mr. Beast to all in me because of, what is it when you, so the big blind was 200 and they made it 400, then 800, then 1600, and they just kept going around. Yeah, they straddled the shit out of it. And he was pot committed basically because he had like 24K or some shit. I have ace king. He's at queen 6.
Yeah.
And the flop comes like queen 6. And that was like the only bad beat that I had. But other than that, like I was on point. It felt good. And pretty much the same thing at the poker room too. I had great reads on people. I didn't have any bad beats. And it's like, dude, I'm obsessed with it. I love it.
I mean, if you do you plan on playing lots of tournaments, or how do you plan on using this? So you just want to play and it's fun and that kind of thing. Do you have any ideas for your brand for what you want to do with it, or what are your plans?
Dude, I'm thinking, so right now for me, it's about just getting as much experience as possible so that when I plan on going to tournaments that I'm invited to, I'm assuming hopefully there's going to be another, celebrity tournaments or whatever, where, influencers and things like that, those will probably, pop up. I think of, Phil Helmuth's already hit me up, and so is Jason, and like inviting me to things, and I just don't want to get. I don't want to get fucking swindled, right? I'm not trying to go to these tournaments and just get raked, $100,000 buy-in cash game, and I'm just getting fucking railed.
I would. I'd have some advice on that sort of thing, but go ahead.
Yeah, no. So again, I plan on, and dude, I can afford to lose that and be a part of those types of games and just kind of get the experience and have fun. And that's really ultimately like what I'm looking for. I think to start is just have fun. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to continue to take it like very serious because I do want to improve. And that's a competitive nature in me. I'm going to keep going to the poker room that's near me and just keep playing like low stakes and just kind of, get my reps in and just kind of iron out the shittiness.
Yeah. No, that's actually a great idea. That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
That's the perfect thing to do. You're not really supposed to say your strategy publicly, but it doesn't really matter because no one's going to they won't be intimidated until you like show that you're really crushing them and that kind of thing, or they think you are kind of thing because you're new to it and they're going to think, oh, let's play with this guy kind of. That's all.
Yeah. I sat down at this local table, and the people at the poker room, like the employees knew who I was, but none of the players did. It was like 40 to like 70-year-olds was like the range of people that I was playing with at the start. And I had people that were like calling me really early on some bad cards like that they had. And I'm sitting here like only playing, pretty much premium hands my first couple of hands. Cause I'm not trying to get fucking sucked in early. And I was just, I'm just crushing them. I'm like, what are you calling with that? Like, I got a real read real fast on the table that like they weren't very good, or like a lot of them were calling for like, I could just tell them like, this guy's on a straight draw, this guy's on a flush draw, like, they're check calling. And that's what my brother taught me going into it. Like, and cause he always told me to check call if I'm on a flush or a straight draw sometimes. And I would just call him on. It's not always, I know.
Yeah. You want to spice it up every now and then. You wouldn't do a little. Right. So I also, I want to say, don't listen to Phil Hellmuth all the time. I don't 100%. Know.
Dude, I've been watching so many of his heads ups, and it's just so, dude, like sometimes one of the guys is this big shirtless dude, this big beef head man, and he got under his skin so bad. Like he was like, Phil, he completely just full tilted, man. He was like making just ridiculous raises and random calls. And he ended up losing. But yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know. You gotta stay level headed, and that's what I'm gonna try to do.
No, for sure. Well, you have to. One important thing that I think a lot of poker players forget also is you have to have fun. It's a bit underrated that people don't intuitively understand or whatever they have to do to have fun at the poker table for all sorts of reasons.
Right.
It's hard to have fun when you're losing. That's real talent. But that's one reason why I think it'd be cool if you get involved into poker. You'd be able to play a lot of private sorts of things that would be good for you if you handle those situations right. And it's even like you could even make decent amount of money. I don't know what's big money for you.
Dude, for me, it's just how I get it. I'm playing right now, and I would attend these types of tournaments, these types of poker games for experience and like for fun. And again, dude, from a brand standpoint, dude, this is something that, dude, this was not in the cards, pun intended. It was super last minute. I'm getting my hair done. Literally, I'm getting my hair done. I'm sitting in the chair, getting my hair colored. And I got a DM like, hey, are you going to be the ninth seat tonight in the game? Yeah. And I was like, fuck it. I originally said no. I was like, nah, man, I can't do it. I'm good. And then Ludwig, the guy who hosted it, was like, oh man, that's a shame, dude, because it's like, this is an opportunity that I wouldn't pass up, is what he said. And I was like, and I just had this urge. I don't know what it was. I was like, yeah, all right, man. All right, I'll do it. I'm in. And now like this is like this world that I'm reaching so many new eyes, and I'm genuinely loving it. That I think hopefully I can bring. It's like a wombo combo, right? I love to come to a lot of more of these tournaments with some of these bigger guys and basically skip the line, which I feel like is what I've already done. But hopefully I'm bringing super fresh eyes and a bunch of people to Texas Hold'em, man.
Yeah. No, you can absolutely, you can do both. Actually, you can. I imagine you would. It's it's kind of a bit of a unique audience, I would say.
Definitely.
And yeah, you can definitely skip the line quite a bit. So that might be fun for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's already like the me continuing to go down the path of poker right now. It's already like it's the same thing when I did first time ever on Jimmy Fallon or on The Masked Singer, where I stepped outside my comfort zone and I did something that like I don't normally do, which is stream. And I have people coming up to me and they're like, "Bro, I saw you on The Masked Singer. You were dope. Like, oh my God, you're Ninja from The Masked Singer." And it's like, it's just so weird. I'm hitting like, this never happens. People say, "Hey, you're the YouTuber." And now, dude, I mean, I'm chilling. I'm walking around, I'm going to bars and things like that or whatever. And I'm like, "Yo, dude, that poker game, man, I caught you. I didn't know you played poker, bro. I saw you on that." And like, "Yo, you're that guy from poker." And it's like, dude, it's mind blowing.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy that that you're getting like new recognition from it. Sounds like you enjoy that sort of thing as well. That you enjoy the fame a bit. I want to ask. So the theme of the podcast is winning the game of life. Obviously, you've done really well in your field, extremely well. Sounds like you'd like to give back. Do you give back at all in other avenues, or just help people out with, give back in terms of advice and how they grow the brand, how they want to, how they're supposed to grow how they are giving just help in helping people how to grow their brand or and how to become better at video games or anything related.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Like my wife and I, every month we do something that's like kind of like adopting an animal in a sense where, we pay off somebody's vet bills. Jess will tweet out and we'll, go through a couple of people's tweets and replies if they're having struggle with, their animals and things like that. And we'll just Venmo them, cash. We'll obviously ask for like, receipts and pictures and, evidence, of course, that, they're actually have these animals and things like that. That's like some little stuff that we do. A lot of my friends are super active in doing charity streams. One of my buddies, Dr. Lupo, he does these massive charity streams every year, raises money for St. Jude. Heavily donate there every year and sometimes participate in doing like a stream block where I'll take over the stream for like an hour or two and try to raise as much money for my fans as possible and things like that. I think, man, we don't, dude, it's whenever we see something that we believe in a cause, it's nothing crazy. Sometimes we don't even tell people about it. Right. We don't, "Hey, everyone just donated 100,000 to, this, enter, whatever charity here." And so Jess and I are always looking for charities and things to support.
Okay, awesome. It's inspiring that, people in your position are giving back in these kinds of ways, showing that you believe in these higher virtues, because not everyone in who is made it to the top essentially is doing these kinds of things. And people even say that everyone's selfish at the top. I don't believe that. But I've seen a lot of both sides, frankly. Yeah. And I also I read a little bit about you. I read that you only support things that you believe in. I personally think that things like that are really important. And I think that ultimately supporting things that if you support things that you don't believe in, it ends up being, it's just basically, I think people should only take sponsorships for things that they believe in and not support the bad things. There's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
What I was reading about. Yeah.
I could talk about that forever, man. I think it's kind of like you can make an analogy or compare it to like lying and things like that, where the more you lie, you have to keep lying.
Oh, 100%.
Lie, right? You have to add to the lie. And that, dude, I get like severe anxiety watching movies or shows that are based upon like betrayal and lies. It's dude, it's like I like sometimes like I can't even watch it because I put myself in their shoes and I imagine the amount of stress that they have, like every single day, every waking moment of your life, you're thinking about like, what if somebody knows, or like, what if this person tells, or what if, so yeah, I mean, I take that in every aspect of my life when it comes to, brand deals and things like that. So, for instance, I was with Rebel for several years. I loved Rebel. I love the company. I love the energy drink. We couldn't come to some terms, and we ended up both going our separate ways. The next company I picked up was a company that I literally started drinking, G Fuel when I was starting out streaming 10 years ago, a decade ago, something again that I believed in And it feels good knowing that if anyone ever calls me out or haters or whatever, and they're like, oh, dude, you're a sellout. It's like, listen, man, I use the products that I'm sponsored by. Like, I've had my agents and people and companies come up to me all the time and they're like, hey man, we'd love to give you X amount of money to do this and this and this. I'm like, well, I don't use your product or I don't like it. So like, it's just not going to happen. And that's not always, agents aren't always the happiest when things like that happen, but
no, well, you have to like the right people for sure.
Absolutely.
No, I mean, it's no, I forget what I was going to say. One thing I've always believed in is the truth. And I personally believe that if the truth is bent in some kind of way, it'll ultimately in the really long run in poker terms. I don't know if there's some kind of equivalent in gaming, but it'll in the super long run, it'll hurt even the person who does lie. And as you said, you need to know the lies that you've told and you need to keep lying and keep perpetuating it. And it's really easy to forget little details, and supporting brands that you don't believe in is lying, in my opinion.
100%. I totally agree.
And it leads all your fans astray and that kind of thing. One last thing. Yeah. So what are your plans for the future? How do you plan on building your brand? And yeah, what are the new plans? What's the next generation of Ninja? What's in the cards for the next generation of Ninja?
I think so. We just had this big rebrand, a much simpler logo, a little bit more professional, more clean looking. Recent, so that was one of the steps. We just recently started. One of our episodes came out where I did some voice acting for a show called Duncanville. We did their season premiere, season 2, I think, and it was. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Loved that. So I think any and all voice acting, super. I love doing stuff like that. And yeah. And then unexpectedly, I think the poker stuff, man. I'm in a very unique opportunity right now where I am in love with something that I didn't realize how much I really enjoyed. And again, I've kind of like catapulted to this position where I'm able to, go to these types of big tournaments and get invited to things like that. So I think it's just more poker personally.
Okay. All right. More cards in the
cards, man.
All right.
Well, yeah, man.
Keeps things simple. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Okay.
I don't have anything left on my end, man.
All right. Well, it's been great having you, Tyler. Look forward to seeing what you accomplish in poker.
Thank you, man.
Look forward to your career rising and for you setting a good example for other people to, who rise to the top and, want to, succeed in a big way in their career and support the things they believe in and even support altruism, whatever.
Love it, man.
Good job.
Sounds good, dude. Yep. Nice to meet you, Daniel. Thank you so much for your time, bud.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Bye.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Winning the Game of Life. Tune in next week for another great episode. Of course, hit subscribe and follow Dan on Instagram @TheDanCates.